Today we'll talk about AWS Systems Manager Parameter Store. This parameter store is a capability of AWS Systems Manager that provides secure hierarchical storage for configuration data management and secrets management. You can store data such as passwords, database strings, Amazon machine image IDs, and license code as parameter values. You can store values as plain text or encrypted data. You can reference Systems Manager parameters in your scripts, commands, SSM documents, and configurations and automated workflows by using their unique name that you specify when you create the parameter. So basically, this parameter store is mainly used to store your configurations details. Like either you can store this parameter as a plain text or you can store as encrypted data, and this parameters can be easily used in your pipeline, or you can use in your CI/CD process. The parameter store is also integrated with Secrets Manager. You can retrieve Secrets Manager secrets when using other AWS services that already supported reference to parameter store parameters. So next we'll see about how can parameter store benefits my organization. Parameter store offers these benefits. First one is use a secure, scalable, hosted secrets management service with no servers to manage. Improve your security posture by separating your data from your code. Store configuration data and encrypted strings in hierarchies and track versions. Control and audit access at granular levels. Then store reliably because parameter store is hosted in multi-availability zones in an AWS region. So these are the benefits using of a parameter store. Then who should use a parameter store? Any AWS customer who wants to have a centralized way to manage configuration data, software developers who want to store different logins and reference streams, administrators who want to retrieve notifications when their secrets or passwords aren't changed. So these are like, who should use parameter store? Basically, like any AWS customer can use this parameter store, or developers who want to store their logins and referential data, you can store this in the parameter store. So these are features of parameter store. You can go by yourself and from the AWS documentation page, and this can be accessible from other AWS services such as EC2, ECS, Secrets Manager, Lambda, CloudFormation, Code Build, Code Pipeline, Code Deploys. So basically, what is a parameter? So a parameter is a piece of data that is saved in parameter store, such as a block of text or list of names, a password, an AMID, a license key, and so on. You can centrally and secure reference this data in your scripts, commands, and system documents. So basically, it's a plain text, or you can store this as a secret value also in parameter store, and you can access this parameter in your code. And let's see this in secrets in the AWS portal. So you can click on AWS Systems Manager. So you click on the Systems Manager. On the left hand side, you will find this application management. Under that, you will find the parameter store. So click on the parameter store. So if you see the page here, this is the parameter store page. So if you click how it works, so first create a new parameter, then specify the parameter type and values, then reference parameter in your commands or codes. Okay. So let's create our first parameter now. Click on parameter. So this is my first parameter. I'm going to create parameter -1, and you can give a description if you want. The tire, you have two tires, standard as well as advanced. So I'm going with standard one. Then the type. So you can create this parameter as a string or a string list or a secure string. For the first one, I'm just creating as a string here. So the data type I'm giving as text. The value is first. Then click on create parameter. So my first parameter is created now. If you go inside, you can see that my value is first here. Okay, this is done. So now let's go and create the second parameter. Create parameter, and creating a second parameter here, 2, and this time I'm going to create as a secure string. So the KMS key source, either you can give your own encryption, or you can give a default one given by AWS. I'm using a default one. So the KMS key ID is AWS SSM. The values I'm going to give a second here. Now click on create parameters. So this parameter is created now. Let's click on check this value here. So now the value is hidden here. You show this, it will show the value here. So in this way we can create these parameters. Now we'll see how we can retrieve this parameter from the CLI. We're going to click on this CLI. So the command is AWS space SSM space get parameters hyphen names, and we saw the name as parameter 1 here, right? So I'm going to give a name as parameter 1 here, and 1, then you enter. So now see, now the value got the output like parameters, and you could see the name as parameter 1, the value is first here. Similarly, if I want to retrieve for the second one, is parameter hyphen 2, so that is AWS space SSM space get parameters hyphen names space parameter hyphen 2. So now you should display the second parameter. So now you see the value you see here, this is kind of encrypted here, like it is not the actual value, because we stored this as a secure string. So that's the reason the value is not shown here, the actual value is not shown here, it's some kind of encrypted value here. So if you want to see the actual value, then what should we need to do is at the end of the previous command, that is like AWS SSM get parameters hyphen names, then the parameter name parameter hyphen 2, then space uh, hyphen hyphen with a decryption. When you enter this, now you could see the value. The second is coming up here, whereas previous one you don't see the actual value here. It was encrypted. Now you could see the decrypted actual decrypted value. So this is the argument you have to pass hyphen hyphen with the decryption that will show the actual values here. So in this way you can add a parameter to the parameter store, and you can retrieve that parameter through CLIs. Now if you want to see all the parameters from the parameter store, what you can do is you can run this command AWS space SSM space describe parameters. So this is going to list you all the parameters from the parameter store. So if you see now the output, you could see the parameters parameter 1, parameter 2, and you have two parameters listing out here. For example, if you want to retrieve the parameters from a path, for example, you have different regions, environments you have, test, UAT, and prod. So when you create this parameter, you might given a parameter name as dev slash parameter 1, then test slash parameter 1, then prod slash parameter 1. And if you want to retrieve one from any of these the region, for example, by you're using a parameter pattern like the path. So in that case, what you can use is you can use this command AWS space system space get parameters hyphen by hyphen path, then hyphen the path, then you have to give the actual path here. So for example, here I'm going to give a slash here, because currently I did not give any pattern here because everything is based on the root one. So I'm going to give a slash here, so it's going to list you all the parameters from the parameter store. So you could see there are two parameters, and it's showing the actual value also here. The value is first, and here you could see the value parameter 2, the value is showing as encrypted one. And also if you want to see the actual value on the parameter 2 also, the same command at the end you can give hyphen hyphen with decryption. So now you could see the value is decrypted. The previous one without decryption, it was the value parameter 2 is encrypted. Now with the decryption value, the decryption parameter, which is showing the actual value here. Yes. Yeah. So in this way you can actually list all the parameters, and also you can see the parameter from a certain path. Okay, and also if you want different paths are there, then you want to recursively go into a different path, then what option you can give is here is like the same one. After path you can give the path name, then you can give uh, so after this path you have to give the actual path name, for example like kind of dev slash something like this. Currently I don't have any path like that, so I'm just giving a slash here. Then you should give here recursion recursive. So if you give like this, it will list you uh, all the um, all the parameters from each of the path. Okay, so if you have multiple paths inside, like if you have path one like dev slash uh, some path one, some next dev slash path two. Then if you give recursive and if the path give us dev slash path, basically this recursive parameter is going to go inside each of the path mentioned here and take all the parameters from that path and gonna display the output. Okay, that's pretty much for this video. Thank you.